see in the title, we will be doing a quiz of sorts. You'll be guessing the triggers, and for that I prepared 5 different items. 4 of them I have used on my channel before, 1 of them I'm not so sure, but I'll talk about all the items once it's their turn a little bit, give you a few hints. Well, tell me how many you've got in the comments after the video. You'll see how it goes after the first item. They're all pretty distinct in their sound. As I said, it's kind of self-explanatory. Let's get to it. So this is the first item. And of course, while the sound is happening, I'm not going to show you anything. And, do you like it? I think it's a pretty good sound. So maybe you have already guessed it, because I think this item has been quite popular on my channel before, because I really enjoy it. I think it makes good sounds. And I've used it quite a bit. It is connected to the batteries that are on my camera in one way or another. And, well, it just makes good sound, doesn't it? But you probably guessed it before I even gave you any hints already, because, as I said, it is quite distinct. It's, of course, a little cardboard box, and to be exact, it is the Energen cardboard box, because that's the name of the batteries that are on my camera. No sponsorship anywhere. I just think their packaging makes really good sounds. And well, I love the box, and of course congratulations if you got that one right. But it was an easy start. We'll slowly start and go to something more difficult, I think. So let's get to the next one after a little presentation of this item. The second item is also quite distinct, but it is a sound that you won't hear that often in other ASMR videos. Here it is. I think it is easy to find out kind of the rough area where that sound comes from. And if you are not that, if you don't know my channel that well, you might not know the source of it, because it sounds similar to a very broad area of items that I use in ASMR. Personally, I like this one quite a lot. It is the only item of its kind that has gotten me to use it in videos. With others, I don't like them that much, but this one I think is pretty good. And well, you probably know it already, but I might give you a little hint. I haven't used this item that much in my videos. It is also an item that I think, introduced when I cleaned up my ASMR space, but I'm not so sure about that actually. I actually used to use this item for its intended purpose. A lot of the other items that I have ASMR. But this wonderful calculator I used at school, actually. I always had I always forgot my calculator. And at some point I actually put this little, very, very small calculator in my pocket and just took that with me. Worked for the basic stuff. And I think its button sounds aren't that distinct, but somehow they kind of made me choose it over other items that have like buttons that are kind of electric in some form, or mechanic, I guess, mechanical buttons that make something happen on the screen, you know. Maybe I should find an old phone and use that, but for now it'll be the calculator, and if you guess that right, and you guess the previous one right, that'll be 2 points for you. Let's get to the next one, right? And again, a little presentation of this wonderful item. Next up is an item that also should be distinct, but you'll know what I mean once the sound starts now. I think this is kind of a staple in most ASMR videos, or for most ASMR creators. And I don't think there's any ASMR artist out there who hasn't used this item in at least one of their videos, bar maybe a few exceptions. Maybe someone like the ASMR nerd, because he of course doesn't use that many items, but all the typical ASMR artists have used this item. I pretty much guarantee you that. As for me, I like the item. However, I prefer a smaller version that is also still unopened yet. I think that gave it away. If you have seen, I think, the day before yesterday's video, you pretty much know that it is a cork coaster, or cork board. This item actually always makes my sound wave from the recording go wild. It just, I mean, I guess it is a very intense sound, but it is very, very enjoyable and really does suit ASMR, although it makes this intense sound anyway. I like the corkboard. As I said, don't really use this one that much. I prefer the smaller and still packaged version. But it is still a staple of this channel, and you'll get a short presentation before we move on to the next one. Second to last item, and this item is the one item that I'm not so sure if I have ever used it on this channel. I think I probably did at some point use it, but I might have not. It still makes a sound that could be recognized even if you haven't seen it on this channel. CD case. No, I actually think this might be the hardest item that we have today to guess. Because, well, it kind of finds its use in especially like video game role plays, video game store role plays, I mean. But other than that, not really that much, so this might be the most difficult to guess item today. And also, of course, because I haven't really used it on this channel. But it's still quite a nice tapping sound on it, so I'll give you a short demonstration, presentation, not so sure which word would be better, and then we'll move to the last item. Well, we've made it all the way to the last, but definitely not least of the items that I have prepared for today's Guess the Trigger. It's called Guess the Trigger, and I really enjoy these items, so I saved them for last, and I hope you enjoy the sound too. Now, what do you think? I think if you have heard these items, or this item, it's actually two of the same item. If you heard it before on this channel, you probably know what it is already. I actually try to not use two similar sounds. So that there's also always a, maybe variance is the right word. There's always a plethora of triggers in my videos, even if it's just sound assortments of some kind. And as I said, really like these items. As I said, there are two of them, and they can be containers for something. Theoretically, it would be possible to make a different ASMR sound genre. Maybe genre, no. There's a specific ASMR sound that a lot of people like that you can do with a certain item type. Theoretically, you could do this type of ASMR with these items because they have something that enables them to do this. I think the material is also kind of helpful here, because when I describe these items, I use the material because, I mean, it's kind of important to know the material in this case again. And well, I hope you know it by now because it is a course. These two little plastic containers, maybe boxes, the right word. Cans, plastic cans, but they're very, very tiny. Very, very tiny. But I really love them. I've used them on my channel on very, very many occasions actually. So if you're new here and like the sound, well, you can click through a few of my old videos, you'll find it. You'll definitely find them somewhere. But with this last item, we are slowly going to wrap up this video, which is perfect because someone outside has started to mow their lawn, I think. Because of reasons. I'm doing my best to kind of filter out all these sounds from outside. I hope you don't pick, like the microphone doesn't pick this one up. And well, as I said in the intro already, tell me which sounds you got right, and tell me what gave it away. Now, after a little always do, we'll go for an outro and for the thumbnail. And here we are for the outro. Thank you, of course, for watching as always, and as you have already seen in the title, the outro will be me, kind of in a thinking pose and a big question mark, probably. Oh, that was the doorbell. Kind of like me, like this. And then a question mark. Now, the door just rang, so I'm gonna go real quick. I hope I'll see you again tomorrow. Until then.